Welcome to another edition of All In with Ak and O.
It's your boy Ak.
And this is your boy O once again with another one. So we had to come back with a trendy topic right now because it's all over the place. And that's the whole thing with Young Thug and
It's crazy, man.
And Gunna. You wanna give it a little rundown real quick? What's happening for those that don't know?
Let me give you a quick rundown. So as of May 9th, Young Thug, aka Jeffrey Williams, was taken into custody after having his home raided. So they ran down on him in Atlanta. Basically, he was charged with conspiracy to violate the RICO Act. Now, you know these are big, hefty charges, man. It was like a 56-count indictment, which includes names of Young Stoner Life Records, including Gunna, a.k.a. Sergio Kitchens, YSL Duke, Yak Gotti, and Unfunk, which were all part of the Young Slime Life, YSL.
Yeah, wasn't it like 28 people, right?
Mm-hmm. And they all are up for charges like murder, armed robbery, weapons and drugs, aggravated assault, street gang activity, and a bunch of other charges. So, I mean, they're about to get the book thrown at them.
Yeah,
the indictment is already 88 pages and counting.
Dang. And you already know, once you hear it, they need to call it the R word, man. Once you hear RICO,
you already know that's at least 25 to life, man.
Yeah, man. Like that.
Those charges are serious. And basically, they have conspiracy charges stemming from alleged incidents between 2013 and 2022. So this is almost 10 years of indictments that they got running on that game.
Wow,
and that's crazy, man. That was his whole music career, pretty much.
Wow. So they've been on him, watching him, and building the case for years.
That's why they said the Fed's
years.
indictment rate is almost perfect, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because they will build up such a huge case on you, then just drop the hat.
Yeah, when they come and get you, it's a wrap. It's because they know they got a tight case.
Yeah, that's the only time they come get you, because they'll let you keep on doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the more serious charges were allegedly murder of Donovan Thomas Jr., which was one of his ops, one of the rival gang members. And this was back in 2015. So they sat on a murder case for 7 years just to make sure something going to stick.
Wow.
And basically what that did was cause a wildfire in Atlanta. So after that, the city got tired of them, because after that one murder, it just started going berserk. They even wanted to get a second attempt on YFN Lucci, which was in Fulton County Jail. They wanted your man Young Thug to call a shot on that one too. Oh, and also I just wanted to kind of throw in there too. You remember that 2015 bus shootout with Lil Wayne? Remember when they shot up his bus?
Nah, I'm not sure about I'm up on that one.
Yeah, but they shot up his bus back in 2015, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was all stemming from beef, which is also part of that indictment between Young Thug and Birdman. So they about to put that on him, and somebody got 10 years for that back then when it happened.
Wow. So they, like, all the stuff I'm hearing that they throwing in this is wild. Like they using lyrics, they using Instagram posts, pictures,
DMs, all of that. Like that's what I'm saying, man. Like, people be incriminating themselves. They using videos, they using lyrics, they using, like, affiliation amongst other people. They putting other cases on them. Right now, they're both facing life.
And from one thing I'm hearing too is that they apparently a cop got killed too. And
I didn't hear that, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at this case, at this rate.
Yeah, I was hearing like how, once the cop got killed, that's when they really coming for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they were clearly already building something for, like you just said, for years, like over 10 years, right?
Just about. I mean, it was stemming from January 24th, 2013 to May 8th, which was the day before they ran in his crib. They ran in his crib May 9th. So they was like, on May 8th, they had the huddle plan already. They're like, yo, first thing we're going to do is we're gonna jump in on them and your man Gunna. Some of Gunna's charges was like drugs, theft, receiving stolen property, and gang affiliation. That's
Wow.
how they're trying to make the RICO law stick because they know he's going to be affiliated with that YSN gang also. You know what this reminds me of? Oh,
Mm.
you remember that video that we did, Die and Breathe?
Yeah.
And you remember it was a part in that video that we did when we was talking about not only rappers getting murdered, but they getting locked up.
Word.
Right now, this is a perfect example of some more wasted talent.
Yes. Yes.
You know, I feel bad for our culture, man.
Yeah. You know, it's a dying culture, man. In my opinion, you know, because I mean, you know, it's gonna evolve or whatever, but it's just going down the drain. Like it's like that. The toilet got flushed like years ago, and it's just been, you know, you just watching it go down, man, and it's terrible, man. But what I don't understand is like, why how people ain't learning their lesson. Like, how many examples you need to
I don't
to
even think
wake
they
up and
use
smell
these
the coffee?
examples. I think they're all engulfed in their own lifestyles to the point where they just become another example. I mean, because 1 minute this guy was wearing dresses and wearing purses and all that. And he's calling shots on murders and has whole gang affiliations where, you know, he's the head of the gang and everything like that. I mean, that lets you know we don't know anything about these people.
Mm.
Because 1 minute, you know, you think he wearing dresses, man, he's just soft as some soft serve with sprinkles on it.
Mm.
But behind the scenes, he's getting people stabbed up in jail. He's shooting at other rappers' buses or having a hand in that. And all of this is alleged, obviously, but, you know,
Yeah,
when it comes to the feds, man, they know
Yeah.
what they're talking about.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, well, you know, can't judge a book by its cover, you know, and you know, it's definitely not our era, you know what I'm saying? You know, we the old
I tell you
dudes.
that, man.
We the old dudes, and this just regular stuff now, man. And man, it's like it's just so hard to, like, you got enough money to have you out. Like, you don't need to do nothing illegal. So why you not just putting it all legal, and you still get out? You already out the hood. You trying to get your homeboys out the hood. Get them out the hood. Help them get a restaurant or whatever it is they trying to do.
They got the game all the way backwards out. Remember also in that last video we was talking about also was how our culture, our time, our era, we use the music to get out. They're using the music to entrench themselves. And what's the proof of that is that they're using their lyrics and their videos against them in the indictment.
It's true, man.
Y'all trying to live what y'all writing about, man. Y'all got it all backwards, and it's unfortunate because the law don't care who you are, and especially if you're a minority or if you're ethnic. Let's not say minority because you know that's a false statement at this point. You know, minorities are majorities in this case, but at the same time, it's just crazy that you have the ethnic people with all this talent, all these opportunities. We always complain about not having enough opportunities. Now the ones that get the opportunities are going right back into the hood and getting themselves life sentences. I mean, this guy's only 31 years old, man.
And I'm sure he ain't living in the hood, but he stay. You know, he obviously staying in it. If you know, and this all allegedly, you know. But if he does got a gang, and you know, and he's a shot call. You know, he's the CEO of the gang, the leader. I mean, you know, then he definitely entrenched in the hood. You know,
you know what's crazy too?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they actually get sued by Saint Laurent because it's already that YSL. They're already mixing it up between the designer and the gang. So you actually put bad publicity on that designer too.
Yeah. You know, like what? Like, he's what, 30 years old, right?
Yeah, 31, matter of fact.
31. And then, okay, so the cases they building is like for the last 10 years. So, okay, so it looked like
so about 9 years. So let's just say he was about 22 years old when it really started becoming a case. which means that he was getting busy before then. Because you don't just jump off the porch and the fence is right there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's true. If they building it that long, that's true. You
It
know,
had to first cause attention and things like that. And, I mean, basically, like, I mean, that murder itself of his op, he was accused of renting a vehicle that was used.
so he rents a car just to do a murder?
Just so his gang members
Allegedly.
could slide on somebody.
Wow. That ain't too smart, man. Like, what?
And neither is wearing a dress. Hey, it didn't stop him then.
Well, you know what? I always looked at it like, because, if you do that nowadays, you're going to blow up. You're going to, you're going to get the whole push. And
Yeah, because it's the public humiliation. If you with it, then, they're gonna edge you on further. But to what end though?
But he seemed to like it, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It seemed like he
public
genuinely...
humiliation right here too.
What you mean?
Basically, it's beyond wearing a dress. This is public humiliation because you're supposed to be some big time artist, and you know what? Your 15 seconds of fame was you getting walked out in handcuffs. With choppers in the sky and big SWAT buses riding through the block. I mean, I'm sure your neighbors was happy at one point to be living next to a star, but not to think all of that stuff coming.
Except when
it's just crazy.
Except when he bring all the goons, throw a party.
Yeah, I mean their house parties must have been lit, man.
But yeah, like apparently, like they got drug charges and everything, right? It's not just the murders.
I mean,
like what are some of
too? Like it's not just like just a little small as weight.
Right.
Federal drug charges. Obviously, the RICO was playing a part in that too. And once you actually include the RICO, man, it's bad news for you, man. Because they try to catch you on a 3-part type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like they break it down just to make sure that it's all gonna stick. So it's crazy. Like really, the RICO law is broken down into 3 parts. Part 1 is the conspiracy, right? Now, part 2 is like the enterprise. And then part 3 is, the conspiracy charges, all the case, like all that put together. Basically, they're just saying that, in part 1 of conspiracy, the indictment claims the associates listed were part of an enterprise. So once they think you're an enterprise, that's one strike. Part 2 of the RICO charge, the enterprise is broken down. According to records, Young Slime Life is a street gang that was founded by Young Thug, DK, and Tick in late 2012. So look, I mean, you see how it was? In 2012, 2013, they started watching it.
And I'm hearing that I'm reading here that the rapper's first court appearance, the DA says YSL allegations deserve the maximum penalties. So they really going like they trying to hit him with the max.
Yeah, like I told you, that one example of that whole rental car when they slid on their op, right, so to speak. That caused a big uproar in the streets because once they died, there was a lot of back and forth. Like the murder rate went up. So it's it's a lot going on, man. To imagine that you have 88 pages of federal indictments and they're still counting.
Wow.
Like they're making sure that you don't see the light of day.
By the end of it, they're gonna come with an encyclopedia. They're gonna put that encyclopedia on there and boom, like that's gonna be crazy, man.
Like, hold them right there. They're gonna hit him with the pie in the face. Pop. You know what I mean? Just throw the book at him.
I'll tell you what.
They're using lyrics from his songs and everything. It's a song called "You," and they quoting from it. Several lyrics from the song are named in the indictment. The lyrics include "Red just like Elmo, but I never ever giggle." YSL won't fold. Pick his A up from the balcony. YSL wipe a nigga nose. They basically just egging it on in there. And that was in 2014. And 2013 is when all of that surveillance began, man. So they started looking at them lyrics 8 years ago.
Wow.
And he kept on coming out with albums. You know, they should have called him Fulio. You know what I'm saying? Like, you giving them more wood to burn the fire, man.
You know, there's a rapper named Fulio, right?
I remember Coolio, but Fulio.
There's a rapper.
Shout out to Fulio. I don't know who you are, but you know, obviously that name is something that's gonna stick.
Yeah, he beefing with Kodak. They used to be homeboys, but you know that's a whole other thing. And what about what you know about Gunna though?
So Gunna, I mean, he's a little less spoken of just simply because of the nature.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, basically, you know what they're saying about Gunna is that he has like drug charges. So Gunna's been charged with 1 count of conspiring to violate the RICO. He was listed in at least 5 counts of the RICO indictment, including being accused of committing the felony offenses of possessions of meth, marijuana, hydrocodone with intent to distribute.
So
he was also named in counts for theft by receiving stolen property. And basically, the state is primarily attempted to tie him to the Young Slime Life street gang by listing evidence of him wearing YSL chains and sharing content such as photos, videos, social media, etc. So he has some charges which would have been regular drug charges, even if it was kind of a little bit trumped up. But just the fact that you're affiliated with the gang, that's where his time is going to come in.
You know what's my next question though?
What's that?
Which one of them you think snitching? Because you know somebody, if they got 28 people,
out of 28 cats, I'm gonna say at least 16, man. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be a lot of back and forth. I promise you, when you start hearing life 25, I mean, people ain't built like the way they used to be built.
Yeah.
You even start back throwing then, numbers at them. That's it.
Even back in the day, like you throw football numbers like. Even then, like, people ain't really, you know, that's how they took down the mob.
I can still name a couple of cats that ate the charges.
Yeah,
you know
You always got your few, you know.
Yeah.
But like superficial.
Now, I don't know, man. I don't have like, you know, the last situation that I felt was pretty stand up, not to glorify that whole lifestyle, but when your man Schmurder got locked up, right? He ate some of his man's time. And I found that to be a little noble, knowing that you're looking out for your mans like that.
You know who's another one? My man Rollo. Because Rollo apparently like a lot of what he got charged with.
Yeah.
Supposedly, and it's all allegedly, you know, but wasn't even really his charges. It's just he refused to testify on his homeboys. You know, because I even heard him in an interview, you know, from jail, from prison, you know, and what seemed to have come out, I don't know if it was him saying it exactly, but basically what I got from it was, you know, whoever he's eating the time for, you know, they could step up, and they did offer him a plea to get out in like 5 years out, and he turned it down.
And what he facing right now?
Oh man, like the last I heard, he was facing like 20 years or more.
Man,
they hit him with RICO. He got hit with RICO.
Yo, they passing that out, you know. But you know what?
Imagine getting 5 though.
You know what I think they're getting a window that is easy to catch these cats on RICO charges because they all running together as a gang. They all showing that they all look at everybody's videos. People all piled up, wearing the same kind of chains, you know, all of that stuff. Even if you're not truly affiliated, as soon as the indictments drop, you're gonna get caught up in that sweep of indictments, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But just by affiliation, that's pretty much what Gunna's problem is right now. I mean, obviously, you know, there's some stuff that we don't know. And you know, and I'm sure, like, you know, there is some level of affiliation, but who am I to say? But just the fact that they're using the fact that he has a chain and he's taking pictures with these cats, that he's affiliated that way, that lets you know that you're gonna be guilty by association no matter what.
That's enough. That's all they need for Rico.
I know somebody that got caught up in an indictment from my old neighborhood. Never been a gangster. He's always hung outside. And he wound up doing 5 years in the feds, man.
Wow. And never did nothing. He wasn't
Never
even.
did nothing. I mean, he was such a two-bit hustler. You know, it was enough. He was hustling just enough so he could get his little beers and sneakers and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But just the fact that you on a block that's lit with this active gang activity, and you always outside, you hanging around cats, yo, they gave you a fresh fire for that.
Wow. Wow. Imagine
You know what
how
I'm
imagine how much it hurts though to to be in prison, be in jail for years and you ain't
And you
even
truly didn't have nothing to do with it.
yo, man, imagine that feeling, man. That's some painful stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Jail breaks some people, man.
Yeah.
I don't care how hard you think they are, man. Like, jail be breaking people down.
Yeah, man.
You know, like, people like you expect to be like, you know, oh man, this guy's, you know, man, yo, he's solid, man. He real solid, right? You get hit with some fresh time, you sit down in a cell somewhere for a little while, and next thing you know, guess what, man? He on suicide watch, take his laces and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even a game, man. You know, people don't even know what they up against. You know what I'm saying? Oh, like, you know, they doing it, they out there, they glorifying the life or whatever. But when the hammer drops, yo, man, everything changes for people.
And that's the thing too, you know, people it's like, okay, let's say you doing dirt and you getting away with it.
Yeah.
And it's like the more you do that, the more time that elapses and that's happening, the more like you lose track of reality. Like you really start believing like, you know, nothing's happening.
Away with everything.
Yeah, like, you know,
untouchable.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's like, and really all you getting is rope. You have no idea. Look, all these years, a decade, and they watching, building a case on you. And you thinking you getting away with stuff. And it's just rope. It's just rope being given to you and you're going to hang by it. You know?
Imagine they had teams just dedicated to your activity.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? People that are, and you know there's surveillance, you know, because with feds, they love to surveil things.
Mm-hmm.
Because that visual evidence is everything. You know what I'm saying? Look, I mean, they combing through everybody's social media, pictures, rap lyrics. They probably got vans sitting outside,
phone calls,
snapping photos and all that. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man.
Yeah, they hearing stuff, you know, probably on the phone, whatever, and high-fiving. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Like, yeah, we
know.
got them. Because you know what? When they dropped the hammer, like I said, they got you on so much stuff that even if you was to plead, you getting 20 years.
Imagine a charge that's so big that you pleading for 20. Like, you be happy to get 20.
And what's crazy is when you doing feds, they never hit you with the years. They always do months. They're like, yo, plead out to 240 months. You know, you got to break out the calculator. Like, what's that again? Like, you know what I mean? It sounds good. 240 months, I could do that on my head. You know what I'm saying? And you realize you just copped out to a 20-year bid, man. Like 20, a dub, man. You a dub for real.
Wow. You know what this stuff made me think about though too?
What's that?
It made me think about there's a kind of parallel. It's almost like a metaphor for life in a way, because it's like we in this world, you know, we born into it. We here to be tested. And it's like, because we ain't getting struck by lightning every time, you know, you do something bad, it's like, you seem to get away with it. You seem, okay, you know, and it's just, you know, because we got free will. And, you know, we start forgetting, you know, it's like, we just get caught up like, you know, oh, you know, you just have, you know, living, you know, and it don't matter how bad you living, you just keep going and going, thinking it can't happen. Meanwhile, and then next thing you know, death comes, boom. And now it's over. Now there's no,
And you can't go back. You can't make any
yeah,
adjustments or changes or nothing.
no second chances, no nothing. It's over. That rope you was given, now you hanging. You know what I'm saying? And then you can't take nothing back. And this is like a reminder of that. You know, you know, life choices, man. Like, it's not only with the courts. Yeah, yeah, that's big. But just imagine if imagine how your heart is feeling and the fear when that judge has your life in his hands.
And he can
Imagine
say and do whatever he wants at that point in time.
and imagine. So that's in a court. Imagine when this judge.
Imagine the real judge.
Yeah, and yo man,
That's
it's
food for
not a
thought, man.
game.
That's really something to sit on, honestly, man. If anybody's listening to this out there, man, I mean, really think about that for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Whether you famous, whether you're not, whatever, man. But just really think about all of the actions that a person commits themselves to, and nothing's happening to you, so you start to become like invincible, untouchable, and really all it is in reality
In your mind.
is rope used to hang yourself, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And some people think just because they don't believe they're gonna be judged, just because you don't believe something don't mean I could
Don't
believe.
believe it ain't true.
Yeah, I could believe that that door don't exist, but meanwhile there it is. You know what I'm saying? It does exist,
That's a
and
fact, man.
so it's like you may not want to be judged, but you will be judged. And we all gonna see that. You know what I mean? That's why when that time comes, like nobody's gonna object to the penalty because it's like, imagine you've been in the grave for who knows how long, and now
Probably
you
longer
be
than you've been alive, man.
yeah, way long. You might have been there thousands of years, and now you've been brought back, and everybody's brought back, and you like, yo, this is really happening. Like, this is for real. Like, I was denying all that time, but look, it's happening. And now it's too late. And now you have no control, no nothing, and it's a wrap. This stuff we really need to ponder about, man. It's not a game, man. And we talking about how serious in court, man. But there's another court that's way bigger than that one, man.
It's the court of all courts.
Yeah, man.
And it's crazy because, I mean, they be going through all types of mental breakdowns and everything once reality really hits them. You get the hardest of cats, and next thing you know, man, they're on suicide watch. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy because they see how dire their situation is, but you don't see it when you're in it, man, because Shaitan makes everything seem fair.
Yeah.
Like the devil always makes you feel like it's not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's not that bad. You didn't do that, man. You could, you didn't hurt nobody, or it's okay, blah blah blah, right? But meanwhile, you throwing your whole life away, all your opportunities, and you actually gaining more and more rope to hang yourself.
Or
so just kind of just speaking on hanging yourself, right? There's another wasted talent out here that's in the news. It's like, I don't know if they're coming in 2s and 3s or what. But Brooklyn rapper Cassanova just pleaded guilty to racketeering and conspiracy charges on narcotics as well, stemming from a 2020 case in White Plains. And now he's facing 60 years.
Dang. Oh, man.
60 years, man.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? And his charges were running from 2004 to 2020. So you see what I'm saying? They 16 years, man.
Yeah.
And it's alleged that he used some of his money to benefit his gang, the untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation, including the leader Dwight Reed, who's serving 50 to life right now.
Allegedly.
For a 2014 murder case.
Right. Wow.
And what's crazy, this is an example of reality really hitting you, right? Because he's currently on suicide watch right now.
Wow.
He even spoke to his mother about that. You know what I'm saying?
Dang.
And he also admitted that he was previously receiving treatment in Bellevue. Now, if you're from New York, you know what receiving treatment in Bellevue means. You know what I'm saying? You was being treated for mental illness at that point.
Right.
You're no longer mentally stable. And this is one of them cats that was turned up outside in the world, did all his thing. He was affiliated allegedly and all that. So he had a street name for himself, and he's on suicide watch now because reality struck when he pleaded guilty, and he's looking at 60 years. That makes you weak in the knees, I'm sure.
And it's, you know what, is almost worse that the fact that he got to, because he done plenty of prison time.
Yeah.
But to come out and then blow up, and then, you know what I mean, have everything, and then
right
to go right back in, and with no.
And now for this time, it's for good.
Yo,
I mean, you could be 20 years old right now,
man.
And somebody hits you with 60, you're finished.
Yeah. Man.
So imagine if you're 30, you're 40, anything like that, 60 is a death sentence.
And you know what? But when you're like, might be in your 20s or 30s or whatever, but let me tell you, when you wade deep into that sentence and you in you 60, you're gonna look back at all the things that was making you do all this, and you're gonna be like, imagine that feeling, man. Like, you're gonna see how worthless all that was.
All away.
Yeah, man, how worthless was it all, man? To lose.
And I mean, what did you do it for? For like some gang notoriety, for some chicks, for a couple extra dollars? I mean, what really can you put what is it worth to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it worth?
Right, the price for your freedom. Matter of fact, I ain't even calling it, from now on, I ain't even calling it going to jail. From now on, I'm going to call it going to slavery. Because that's what you're doing.
They're about to send you to the plantation.
Yeah. Real talk. That's real talk.
I mean, because you know what? They was doing the same thing in slavery, man. And you getting paid pennies on a dollar. Right now, inflation is up 8.5%. So that means a person that was getting 67,000, right, in the 80s is worth like 100,000 right now. It's like the equivalent of 100,000, right? Well, other way around. 100,000 right now is like 67,000 back in the days. So just imagine, just due to inflation itself, your money's different, the food is different, the gas is different, everything. You did, and you throw it all away just for, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't get it. Like, it really stumps me, right? The fact that a person has everything, and there's so many people out here that doesn't have it or want the same thing that they have, and they throw it away just simply because they want to get some gang notoriety, they want to look cool, or they just have a bad streak in them.
Or getting gassed up, you know what I mean? Or caught up.
People put the battery in your back.
Yeah, right. You get caught up, like, and I could see how people get caught up, man. Cause you see them, like, everybody's hyping you up, like when I was talking before, like you go to jail, you come out, and you like a little superstar in the neighborhood. Everybody wanna, you know what I mean?
Especially after doing some long type of bid too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You coming out with some muscles, everybody sweating you, this and that, showing you respect, bigging you up, really that, and that puts the battery in your backpack. You know what I'm saying? It's I could see how that happens, man. But people need to really take the time to sometimes get away from everybody. You know what I'm saying? And just contemplate on things, man.
I think that's a strong point that you make, because sometimes you can't see the tree from the forest, man. You know what I'm saying? When you in it all that time, it's hard to really be like, yo, this is what I'm doing, because you taking it day by day. You don't see the bigger picture. Mm-hmm. Only people that see the bigger picture, the insightful ones, are the people that don't know you, that's just following your story. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But when you live in a life and you taking it every day, one step in front of the other, it's very hard to distinguish what you're actually doing. You become caught up, and next thing you know, the reality hits when somebody says you get 60 years. That's when it hits you.
Right. And it's, oh man. And then when they locked up, when they in that behind them bars, and they are alone, and your family members got their own life, so they live in their life.
They're
Your
not coming to
friends,
check you no more.
you lost your chick, you lose everything, and it all sets in, and you there, and it's just you. Man, that's
With
that's
those
some
walls
real.
and those metal beds and stuff like that,
Yeah,
man.
and you hearing the noise, you know what I mean, of the other inmates, you know what I mean. It's like, and you just like, yo, this is my life. This is my
Yeah,
life for the rest of
I
my
did
life,
this.
or you know, however many years, man.
And
That
you know
man,
what's
that
also
feeling.
crazy, yo?
Mm,
Sometimes their cases be so involved monetarily, right? That they wind up owing so much restitution that whether they work, whether anybody sends them money, it all goes there. So they don't even have anything. You don't even have anything to get canteen with.
wow.
You know what I'm saying? You can't get deodorant, some drawers, none of that. You know, unless somebody send you a care package with physical goods in it.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't go to canteen like, yo, let me buy this, let me buy that, let me do this, that, you know, because that money is no longer allocated to you, property of the state. Now you owe the state something. So those restitution, you know how some cats be getting $1 million in restitution and all that? Why you think jail is so turned up? Because that dude that got $1 million in restitution can no longer get any canteen until that million is paid up. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
imagine that.
yeah, and like, I guess the only way around that is, I guess you got to just, you know, get it through
You gotta do
somebody else's
jokes, man.
name, or you get it through somebody else's name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel you
Obviously,
can't
there's
have
ways
nothing in you.
around it, but look at what you're up against, man.
Right. Yeah, man. It's like, and then a lot of these dudes, like, maybe not these two, but I'm not sure, you know, about these two, but you know, definitely like Cass, you know, like he been in there already. Like you went through this already, man. Like I know you
Like,
was
why would you
suffering
go
when
through
you
it
was in
again?
there.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm
like
saying?
I know, like, man, how do you lose sight of that, man? It's like, oh man, you
You know
know,
what I think that comes from partially?
uh,
You go to jail and you realize you can survive. You took the fear factor out of it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about no jail. You know what I mean? You hear people talk about that all the time. I don't care about no jail. You know what I'm saying? Because you went there and you survived the fear factor. You might be gang affiliated. You might have known enough people, your name ring bells. You know what I'm saying? Or you just got a strong backbone and you ready for war. So once you realize you do a little time and you actually go in there, you survive, you don't get cut up, you don't get raped or none of that, yo, it takes the fear out of jail.
or you get or if you institutionalize. Some people been in and out of jail so much that that's the only place they feel comfortable,
Yeah, you're right about that.
and that's wild in itself, man. You know, I wonder
You
if
need
Cass
somebody to
Falls.
always tell you what to do and, you know, like when to wake up and go to sleep. And, yo, that's just like being a happy slave, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, slavery, going to slavery, man. Like, you know, if they put it that way, if they just took away the word jail and called it slavery, I wonder if people would do, you know what I'm saying? I wonder if people would do the same thing.
Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like people are so far gone now. You could call it the grand prize, and it ain't gonna change nothing.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you got to change a person's mentality. I don't care what you label the punishment. If your mind ain't right, you always gonna have challenges because all of that starts from within. You know what I'm saying? If you're not able to change yourself from within, it doesn't matter what kind of punishment a person throws at you. It don't matter what kind of charges you hear. It doesn't matter whose family members is crying for you or whatever like that. It's just gonna be the, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be those empty promises, man.
mm-hmm,
You gotta want something. Just like if you want to be rich, right?
mm-hmm.
You gotta. It all starts off with you wanting something, then identifying that thing that you want and working towards it.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to change, it doesn't matter. You can say it with your mouth, but if you're not saying it with your heart, then you're gonna become an example like Cassanova. You go in and out until somebody bang you with it for enough years, that they don't see you come through their courtroom doors anymore.
Yeah, and it's like at a certain point, man. That's why I'm just grateful, because we've all done stuff that could have easily got us locked up, put away for
Same way
for many years,
right.
and through the grace of Allah, man, like we made it without that happening, and that makes, at least it made some of us be like, you know what, anything illegal is just not worth it. It's just not worth it.
And what's crazy, right? Is that if you talk to a person that's in that life still, they're gonna look at you like you soft or something. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, what you mean, man?
You trying to kick knowledge?
This car ain't worth it. This guy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you trying to kick knowledge?
You feel like you straight Mr. Softy with the sprinkles on top. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, what you mean by that, man? You sound crazy right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but in reality, there's nothing worldly that's worth the rest of your life. Because if somebody offered you $10 million right now, and they said, yo, I will write you a check for $10 million, but today's your last day being alive, would you take that money?
Hell no.
So you automatically value your life more than money.
Even being free. Or even being free, to lose your freedom, man, what
you got the opportunity every single day that you're free to change something, to change a life, to change a mentality, to change your situation, to be grateful, to ask for forgiveness. You got so many opportunities to do so many different things, man. And not to say that you being locked up, you don't get all these opportunities too, because you could change in there too, but more for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You may not be able to change your environment anymore, but you can definitely start with yourself no matter where you at, man.
Yeah.
Because you got to be free in your mind before anywhere else, man.
And if you ain't free, you can't help others too much. Like, it's very limited on how you can. And if you got bread, if you made bread, you famous and this and that, like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Or even if you ain't famous, but you got enough bread to get out. Like, how do you don't take advantage of that, man? You got to think of, you're gonna be letting people down in the sense that you could have done so much more, not just for yourself but for them. You
got to ask yourself sometimes, what is it you want?
Mm-hmm.
Because a person may think they want money out. You know what I'm saying? When you get it, it still doesn't give you that satisfaction.
Right. How many
rich
people?
Maybe money isn't something that you wanted.
How many?
Maybe it was the fame. Maybe it was the freedom or something.
How many rich people hang themselves, killed? Look at Robin Williams. Rich, famous, all this stuff. He hung himself. How many other people?
Too many.
So material things ain't gonna do it. You could feel good for the moment. You could feel, all right for the moment, but it's real temporary, and it doesn't fulfill. It really can't fulfill, man. That's why
I just hope, honestly, I hope that they use this time, regardless if they get hit with big football numbers or not. But I just hope that they all use this time to self-reflect. Because, you just threw your life away, but you can still cleanse yourself. People change every day. Get right with the maker. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, you can't do no more music. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to listen to your music behind. Nobody want to do phone interviews or phone hours. Right. You know what I'm saying? There's too much free talent out here to be listening to somebody that threw their life away already. I mean, you had your run.
And people be trying to help too, man. Like I saw a video of Gilly and Wallow, and Wallow was, man, it was with Young Thug and his crew. And he was there, like, really dropping jewels, man. Like, he was really trying to help. And you could tell he's coming from the heart. Like, he really, really means what he's saying, man. And that's coming from somebody that did over 20 years, in prison. So he knows real well. But he got out and he was able to, change his whole, situation. You know what I'm saying? Same with Gilly. Did time and all that, but they fixed their life and everything is, they not on that no more. They ain't on that demon time or nothing like that.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because when I was watching it, you see he's talking from the heart with a lot of passion, and he's dropping jewels, and he's just telling them, he's like, man, please, he's pleading with them, and it's funny because like if this is all true, that they was all part of a gang or whatever, they, you could see like I'm looking at the young dudes that was around, right? And if you ever get a chance, look at the video and look at their faces, how they listening to what he's saying, and you could see that it's hitting them. It's hitting them. But you know what happens too? A lot of times, sometimes you get people and they dropping gems on you, right? And you feel, you like, yeah, and you feeling it, and it's strong and it's growing and it's doing something to you. It's the wheels are turning, the heart is turning, all this is happening. But unfortunately, as soon as you walk out of that place and you start after a few hours, and maybe now you at a party, now you at back to the normal stuff you
Back
doing,
to forgetfulness.
you just forget all about it. Like that feeling starts, disappearing, man. It starts evaporating, and that's a sad thing too, man. Sometimes if you feeling that, make a decision right then and just act on it.
But you know what? A lot of that is your environment, like you just said. That same example that you're using. You might get some gems dropped on you, and then you go to a party after that.
Mm-hmm.
Or you go hang out, you go to the club, or you with your boys, y'all gambling and drinking.
Get high, drunk.
That environment is not conducive to change, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that might have pulled on the heartstrings for a moment. You might have truly had a moment, an epiphany, but you didn't act on it. Why? Because y'all now at the club and y'all throwing back dudes saying, hey.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all smoking fat blunts and all that, and you rubbing up on chicks, you know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Like, it's party time now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that was some good advice, man. And you might even reminisce on it. But now that you reminiscing on it, it ain't hitting like when it came out the dude's mouth.
Right. Or people be like, yeah, but one day, yeah, that made a lot of sense.
Yeah, that made a lot of sense.
One day when I get older,
I'm going to change.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Maybe when I'm old, you know what I mean? Maybe when I'm like 50.
And we ain't even guaranteed tomorrow.
Exactly, man. And imagine you waiting until you turn 50 or 40, and meanwhile they just gave you 30 years at 25. You know what I mean? So now what good is all that? You gonna do that in the Bing?
Well, one person that's locked up right now that maybe might get a good chance is your man Pooh Shiesty. I heard he's getting like 5.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
Some people, and for brothers like that, man, it's like, yo, if you get out, you get that second chance, know that it's the second chance.
Yeah, do the Bobby Shmurda, man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Come out and just start dancing every time, man. You know what I'm saying? He probably happy to be out, man.
Like,
You know what I'm saying? Trying to make the next trending dance, man. But it's like it's crazy though, man. Shout out Bobby Shmurda. I know it's not easy all the time, man.
Yeah, man.
But I just feel like at the end of the day, man, if you get those little skid bids, and let's not even call it a skid bid because they taking time off of your life anyway, man. That's it's not even indentured servitude, man. It's just slavery for a period of time. You come out and you're still young enough. I mean, wasn't he like in his early 20s? So he'll still be in his 20s when he get out. You know what I'm saying? Same way Bobby Shmurda was, more than likely. Kind of like in that same age range where you got away with doing some time, but it wasn't enough to rob you of all those years. This other cats that we talking about tonight, man, there's no hope. If they're found guilty of anything, there's just no hope.
Right.
Murder in itself, I mean, even if it wasn't a RICO charge, man, you're not walking away without doing 20. Now you want to throw drugs, guns, theft, stolen goods, and all that other stuff. And then gang affiliation, man. It's just they're really trying to take them off the street, man.
Yeah, man. Just know if you affiliated, man. Look, man. Rico is out there, man. It's waiting for you. You don't know if right now you look. They've been building a case for 10 years, so you don't know if they've been building a case on you right now for the last 5 years. How you know? So
Especially if you ain't giving yourself time to see the tree from the forest. Like, man, all this stuff I'm doing is coming at me every single day, back to back to back to back. You don't have time to stop and like, yo, where did I slip up at?
and if you look, if you in that life, if you in the street life, and you ain't get bagged yet, just know right now. And if you hearing this, know you got a chance right now. You can make a decision. Life choices, man. And the same way people made life choices and it destroyed them, you actually can make a life choice right now that will elevate you and change everything, change your trajectory, where you could turn it to a great story instead of a great tragedy. And just you gotta know that. You gotta know that you have that opportunity. Cause like
As long as you're alive, you do, man.
exactly, that's what I was just gonna say is like, we touched on, Judgment Day. That's it. There's no other chance. It's over. Once you die, it's over. There's no more chances. No more. I'm sorry. No more giving. This time I'll do
Let me
this.
just start fresh all over again.
Right.
I won't do it anymore. Give me another chance. All that. When you're dead, that's the finality, man.
Yeah.
That's when your deeds stop, your life stops, everything just comes to an abrupt halt, man.
Mm-hmm. And it don't matter.
If you ain't put enough good works up, and your heart wasn't clean and stuff like that, man. There's really little to no hope. You're gonna lose here and in the next life.
Right.
Because whether people believe that next life exists or not, that's simply between you and your maker. But I know I believe, so you got to set yourself up for the next round, man.
That's why it's also very important. Search for the truth, man. That's my advice.
The truth will set you free.
Yeah, you gotta search for it. You gotta really put in the effort because it's easy.
Want it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't want the truth could be staring you in the face and you won't recognize it.
Mm-hmm.
It's no different whether you hear it or whether you don't hear it. When your heart is sealed up, it doesn't even matter.
Yes.
And if you do enough dirt, that's going to set that seal on that heart, man.
Yeah, man. It's true, man. And that's, don't lose sight of that. Like you in this world for a reason, for a purpose. And it was not by accident. We ain't trying to go preacher mode or nothing like that. It's just going real mode. Like, I could sit here and tell you what you want to hear. Yeah, it don't matter. YOLO. Get the hell out of here, man. Ain't no damn YOLO, man. This is real, man.
YOLO's for yo-yos, man.
Yeah, man. Search for the truth. Find that truth with real sincerity, with no bias. Don't just be like, okay, I was born this, so that's what I am. Or my people are this, so that's what I am. Nah, I'm talking about really, you know what I mean? Like really try to find.
Searching for yourself.
Yeah.
Making your own destiny, man. Don't take the truth from somebody that doesn't know any better than you. Do the math, do the science, man. Really study. Mm-hmm. Because we always coming from that point of ignorance at one point, man. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't walking with light.
Right.
We was all doing the same thing, man. 25 years ago, I'd have been like, rooting this on, man. You're crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? But now, it's like I feel enlightened inside my heart. So I look at things differently. And I can see the futility in this lifestyle. Just the fact that, just think of it all the way back. You come from parents who, out of love, perhaps, conceived you. Your mother was hurting. She was on the table, pushing you out, feeding you breast milk and baby milk, wiping your tail, teaching you how to talk, and doing all that. And look where you at right now, man. You think she did all of that for you to be where you at right now? I mean, reflect for a moment, man. You gotta know this ain't life.
Right. You know,
Imagine the people that you hurt, man. You know what I'm saying? Not only the people that you doing harm against, but the people that wasn't part of your harmful plan, but that always was in your corner and always loved you. I don't care if you came from junkie parents or whatever. It ain't nothing an excuse. Because once you reach the age of puberty, man, you responsible for you. And just the same way you made the wrong choices, you can make the right choices, man. And that's real. We ain't got to preach and all that like O said, but we just spitting facts, man. And I think of that now, and I didn't think of that 25 years ago. But all of the trouble that your mother went through and your father or your family members just trying to raise you, make you right, man, teaching you how to write your name and teach you how to pronounce words, and you use all of that for this. It just doesn't connect, man.
Word. Word, man. You know, and I think on that note, man, you know, I think we good there, man. Like, but yo,
I
man,
think we went all in, man.
yeah, real talk, man. You know, even if just one person, if it reach even one person, you know, we grateful for that, you know. But you know, use that mind, like you was given capacity, you know, you was given intellect, you was given things, tools to be able to discern, and you need to use that for the positive. Don't use it to just deny and be like, you know, just because it's easy to deny. Anybody could do that. And he was, oh yeah, I just don't believe in nothing. You know what I mean? I don't care about none of that. You'll never
just
be
remember,
fulfilled.
man, life is what you make it. You know what I'm saying? You can make it a good thing for yourself, or you can make it a detriment to yourself, man.
Word.
These are choices, and that's where that free will come in.
Word.
So using that same free will, like, subscribe, comment, and keep on tuning into our channel, man. And we're going to keep on going all in on anything that you guys want to talk about.
Real talk, man. All in with I can know, man. Peace.
Peace.